This isn't someone alleging a problem. This isn't us making it up and saying there's a border crisis. This is us seeing it. In person, 785,000 people coming across illegally. And people say, what is it? Do you have a problem with immigrants? And I say, no, I'm for lawful immigration. We bring in about 1 million people a year. That's pretty many. But I'm actually a sponsor with some on the other side of the aisle to bring in more people lawfully. I'm pro-immigration. I'm proud of saying that some of the best Americans just got here. I live in Bowling Green, Kentucky. We have over 100 languages spoken in our schools. We have a large population of people from Bosnia. I remember treating my first patients from Bosnia and trying to learn a little bit of the language. And their language is Serbo-Croatian, and so I speak exactly about 10 words of Serbo-Croatian. But I found the language sort of very logical and easy to pronounce. But I enjoyed knowing a few words to try to communicate. Many of the people from Bosnia in my town own restaurants. One owns a trucking company. They've been very successful in our community, and we welcome them. Our church has invited many of them to begin with. So there is something great about America and accepting immigrants. But accepting immigrants lawfully, who take the time and pledge to work and have a sponsor and come in an orderly fashion, is not the same as the people marching up through Central America. Some of them are coming from China. Some of them are coming from the Middle East. Some of them are on the terror watch list. Now, many of them probably want a better way of life, but apply to get in. We can't let everybody in all at once. There was a Pew or Gallup poll a few years ago, and it asked people, would you want to come to America if you could? If they let you come in, would you come? And they estimated the percentages by country, and they added it up, and it was about 750 million people would come. That might be too many, particularly if they all came in a 2 or 3 year period. We're talking about millions of people coming across the border at a time, undocumented, unprocessed. I think it's a mistake. And I think we've made a huge mistake in this body today. And I know I won't convince any minds in Washington. Nobody in the Senate's going to be of this mind. But I do truly believe the Senate is out of step. I talk to people at home. I go to the grocery store. I go to my church. I see people at home, and I don't meet anybody who's saying, please prioritize Ukraine. Please make sure Ukraine gets their money before you do anything about our southern border. I meet nobody saying that. I meet everybody who says the opposite. And these are people from all different parties, Republican, Democrat, Independent, Libertarian, you name it. The people I meet say, we can't just leave the door wide open. We have this enormous welfare state. There's got to be a wall either around the country or around the welfare state. We have to do something. But they certainly don't beg me and plead with me to send the money to Ukraine. They would never support a Ukraine first, America last bill. And that's what this is. Now, many in the blue states have sort of refused to see this for so long. They just have completely ignored the problem because it's mostly been Texas's problem. California too, but Texas in particular. The tens of thousands of people coming across the border overwhelm the hospital system, overwhelm the city system, overwhelm you name it. It's being overwhelmed by so many people. So it's intriguing that the only way we've gotten anybody on the other side, particularly in these cities in the Northeast, to at least be aware of the problem is to let them have some of the immigrants. You know, the people who've got love on a yard sign in their yard, they love everybody. They love everybody till they have all these immigrants in their city and saying, oh my goodness, we can't pay for it. They're putting them up in hotels and giving them free credit cards. They're just giving it they think, oh, we have 100. We'll give them $10 million. What happens when you have 1,000 or 5,000? But even worse, what happens when they begin to commit crimes? Because, see, lawful immigration selects out for the people who want to work and are willing to obey the law. If you're a scofflaw, if you're a potential criminal, or if you got let out of the prison in Venezuela, guess what? That's part of what's coming across unlawfully. And so when some of these people made their way to New York, New Yorkers are starting to wake up and say, my goodness, maybe we can't afford this. Maybe there ought to be some, criminal justice applied to people breaking the law. But everybody saw the pictures. Everybody saw the pictures of a gang of migrants attacking 2 police officers, kicking them and beating them, kicking them to the ground. Awful images. But then everybody in America saw the images of a migrant let out without parole a day later after kicking a policeman in the face, kicking and bludgeoning a policeman, let out of jail with no bail. What does he do? He flips the finger to America. Both hands, holds them high and proud, walks on by, and New York let him go. Nobody put him back in jail. Nobody rearrested him. He gave the finger to America. Well, guess what? This bill gives the finger to American taxpayers.